Let's quickly record exactly what's been happening when it comes to the United States of America and the recent strain with its relationship with India. Now, India's position is absolutely clear. Any kind of intimidation tactic is not going to work. National interest is above everything else. And this message that has been sent by Prime Minister himself, whereafter Trump administration decided to punish India with the highest tariff of 50%. Now, the question is, what happens next? As India has now around 19 days to get additional 25% tariff removed, and for this, negotiations on trade deal are also important. But it seems Donald Trump is not too keen on that anymore. 5 rounds of negotiations that have been completed, and the 6th round of talks between Washington and New Delhi was supposed to happen on the 25th of this month. Now, India so far remains optimistic about finalizing the bilateral trade agreement this month, but Trump's latest reaction to a direct question seems to indicate that no more negotiations until the tariff issue is resolved.
Mr. President, just to follow up on the India tariffs, do you expect increased trade negotiations, since you've announced the 50% tariff?
No, not until we get it resolved.
Mr. President, just to follow up on the India tariffs, do you expect increased trade negotiations, since you've announced the 50% tariff?
No, not until we get it resolved.
Mr. President.
But with Donald Trump, one cannot be so sure because 19 days are more than enough in diplomacy. I mean, meanwhile, when we speak of the House Foreign Affairs Committee Democrats that have expressed concerns about the potential impact on established U.S.-India relationship, prominent American Congressman Gregory Meeks says that Trump's tariff tantrum has risked years of careful work to build this partnership with India. Also saying that Trump's antics may have made it an option of choosing between the devil and the deep sea for India and sticking close to Russia and facing 50% tariffs or even more. As will it keep Trump happy and lose out on cheaper Russian oil? Let's explain exactly how, as per SPI's research report, if India says no to Russian oil, our fuel bill could go up by $9 billion. This year itself, as per Moody's report that came out, if 50% tariff is implemented, then India's GDP could slow down to 6% in 2025-26, down by 30 BPS. Now, Donald Trump, however, remains adamant for Indian national interests. However, it is supreme. India, which is now stepping up its engagement with fellow BRICS nations, and are we looking at BRICS now versus Trump? Because apart from India, Brazil has also been slapped with 50% tariff by Donald Trump. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also had a word with the Brazilian President Lula da Silva, and he spoke with the Russian President Vladimir Putin too. Both leaders, however, have reaffirmed their commitment to further deepen their partnership, and he is also likely to visit India later this year. Now, this will be his first trip since the Russia-Ukraine conflict began in 2022. On the other hand, we have learned that Prime Minister Modi is also likely to visit China later this month for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or the SCO summit, and there is a possibility of a bilateral to happen between the Chinese President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's get in a word from Srinjoy, who's connected with us. Srinjoy, good morning. Lots been happening. Is this the change in the global nexus that we are looking at? Is the United States going to be isolated, or this is a new world order that is now taking shape? Srinjoy?
First of all, Donald Trump is a man. Yes, I can hear you. Donald Trump is someone who has changed the world already in 6 months. But a week is a long time in politics, as has been said in the past. And there are still 18 days before negotiations begin between America and India. So there is time to work out a deal. Now, how this works out internally in America, as you have said, there are pressures from within U.S. Congress, remains to be seen. Yes, Prime Minister is going to China, but that is for the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which basically is a multilateral organization, and Prime Minister was going there in any case. But it's very important to know why India is buying Russian oil. It is because of the economy being as it is. Let's not forget that at this point, there are 2 wars going on in this world. One between Russia and Ukraine and the other in the Middle East. That has raised fuel prices considerably. Let's also not forget what the Americans have said about India buying Russian oil in the past, and not that long ago. India has been told that, well, if you're buying Russian oil, then very clearly you are keeping world prices of petroleum down, of crude oil down. Also, America has said that when India buys Russian crude, refines it and sells it to America, it is seen as Indian crude, Indian refined oil. Now, if that is so, this kind of volte-face is really surprising, because this was the American position. And this is how India has been functioning for weeks and months. Suddenly comes Donald Trump and says 25% tariff because you're buying Russian oil.
Yes.
So that's very surprising. Now, to turn around is very difficult. And as you rightly said, if we don't buy Russian oil, if we buy oil from the markets, then it will hurt the Indian economy.
And the Prime Minister's statement was absolutely clear when he said that he's ready to risk as far as his personal equation is concerned, but nothing comes above when it comes to the interest of the farmers, when it comes to the interest of our national, as far as the livestock rearers are also concerned. All of them is above and beyond when it comes to having personal equation with any country or any leader is concerned. That has been put out clearly by the Prime Minister.